All right, here we are live. Hey, how's it going? This is Focus here, and I am live here in my home. I'm just going to turn that music off, a little intro music. And yeah, welcome to my apartment. Here we are Friday night, and Paul's trying to call me here from Edmonton. I don't know if that's an emergency. Paul, text me if there's something wrong. If you're not hearing anything. Anyways, I'm live on YouTube, Facebook, and I believe LinkedIn. I think so. I don't see a feed going from LinkedIn, but the option is there, I believe. Anyways, this is Focus live from home, and I'm continuing this series of broadcasting from my apartment on Friday nights. And I did one show to start, which was kind of a debut for myself for this album, the AM Grinding, brand new album. And then I had a few guests on. Well, I didn't have guests here physically, but I showcased a few artists and, talked about their skills. And last week I kind of did this on my own as well. And I'm just going to keep going like this on my own. And we're going to be showcasing a few artists each Friday night at 9 p.m. on these platforms. And let's see, do we have a messages? Let's see. I don't know if I can bring up my message board. If anybody wants to chit chat. Oh, there's the chitter chat. We're open. So, without further, here, I'm going to pull up my little tag here. There's Focus. That's me, a Toronto rapper. That's what I am. Yeah, so just a little bit about myself. I've been a solo rapper for 10 years, and it's pretty much right up on 10 years of doing live performances now. It's like I did a show at the Cadillac Lounge 10 years ago. It's crazy. As my newly born focus persona as a solo artist. So we're going to move along here, and I'm going to bring in a good buddy of mine, and we were introduced a couple of years ago by Arlene. And I was looking for somebody to play with in Montreal as I started, venturing outside of Toronto to play live shows. And I came in contact with Sule, and I talked to him, and we hit it off on the phone, and we just had a long conversation, and it was a great, insightful conversation. And he had a gig in Toronto, so he came to the city, and we had a nice chat. So I'm going to bring Sule in without further ado. And we got here. Hey, buddy.
Hey.
Fine. Let's see if
Well,
we can.
I'm kind of grateful that you didn't mention the bottle of whiskey we downed, but
I know. Do you want to get into that?
conversation.
Should we? Should we?
Well, it was
Uh,
a catalyst to the conversation, right?
yeah, really. What?
I mean, like it facilitated a lot of the blah blah.
Yeah. So for people that aren't familiar, I started a podcast, and it just was pure timing that when you came, I was like, "Oh yeah, let's start this podcast." And you're like, "Oh, I brought some refreshments." And it's like we can sip this as we have
We did over the
conversations.
weekend, right?
We basically drank the whole fucking bottle, just fucking downed her.
Killed it.
Um, I'm trying to get this split screen going here. Please forgive me, everyone, if it's interrupted, but I'm gonna refresh
Do
this.
that split screen. I'm gonna grab. I'm gonna go grab.
I'll come back to me.
Because it's Friday night, right?
It is all right. Libations. Let me just refresh this and see if we can get this. Oh, I don't like this.
All I got left is the one in the box. Being from Montreal and growing up with the boy in the box.
There we go. Now we're in business.
Now we're in business.
Now we're in the business.
Well, homage to Corey Hart,
Oh, now I feel
box himself, the wine in the box.
so. I have to apologize to this young lady. She had me on her show about an hour ago, and I'm just so stupid. I couldn't even get my camera to work on Facebook. I don't know what it was. I don't know if I had to update the version of it or something, but I just couldn't allow.
It's always something, eh?
I couldn't allow access to the camera for some reason, and I'm just like, I'm trying, and she's like, come on, like we're supposed to be professionals here, and it's like, come on, I'm the only.
Supposed to be.
I know I'm here. I showed up on time, but it's for some reason I just maybe I was too stoned or something, or not stoned enough. Maybe that was the problem. But I was like, so I sent her. She was very gracious, and she showed the video and she played it, and she was very good about it. So it was this Atlanta-based show. They're just showcasing
awesome.
Rappers and whatnot. Yeah. So Sule, let's get into our little shenanigans. Like,
oh man, we got so many shenanigans. I mean, basically, like we should just never talk on the phone, because every single time that we do, we go for hours, and then we have these kind of things. We could still talk for hours, but it's like, we got so much that we want to say.
Well, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I've been, I guess I'll update you on some of the stuff. I just got the bad news, or I don't know if it's bad news. You tell me. You tell me what you think. I got the news that my factor grant was rejected. Kind of sucks because it's a budget. You need to do your work. But at the same time, I got the feeling when I read the rejection, like that wasn't my way. That was not my path. And something better is coming along. Like I had a plan B already, and I'm kind of like, okay, I kind of prefer my plan B, because dealing with grant people who want to know exactly everything you're doing, how are you doing it, and it's heavy. It's heavy.
Yeah, it's also a lot of. Isn't it quite tedious?
It's tedious.
It's tedious as fuck, eh?
It's a good educational experience because you got to follow up on everything. You got to like dot all your I's, cross all your T's, and you got to cross some of your I's and dot your T's too. Like,
cross them T's.
Yeah, and you got to go over all the P's and Q's. Basically the alphabet. You got to make sure you know your alphabet.
Yeah, and stand on one foot and touch your nose. Fucking do the fucking
whatever.
Well,
yeah, no, it's pretty tedious, and you're kind of beholden to them. You don't really have control over your project the way you want. And I mean, you're at the same time, you have a budget to spend that, they're basically giving you free money. So you're not going to like look a gift horse in the mouth. You're still grateful for it. But at the same time, yeah, you don't have all the control you want. So I'm partly a little bit grateful that I did not get the grant. But
yeah, I hear you.
I'm now I have to get plan B in gear and going. But meanwhile,
oh, good. I'm sorry. I'm just double checking our feed on the YouTube, and it's going nice.
Just before this thing happened, before we got hooked up, I just finished. I have to finish the conclusion, just to the end of the conclusion. But I just finished my first draft on that pulling up the rugs thing, the perspectives on the banjo.
Yeah, because let's indulge a bit, because people who might have seen some of our stuff before, we have our little chit chats on IG, and Sule was educating the viewers of the history and the origins of the banjo, and just the tip of the iceberg of really not knowing the whole scope of this instrument. Too. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just so it's just such a big subject that I'm just like trying to like dumb it down here for myself as well. But it's just like
dumbing this down because
it's daunting. And so like, you're saying you're sharing this knowledge with people too, and people that are getting aware of the knowledge have no idea what the origin or what you're talking about, but they're very intrigued. And it's like,
it's basically, it goes back to the fact that we don't have a whole lot of information about the the creation of Afro-American music, which is basically the creation of American music. We don't really know what happened in that beginning, those early kind of like, it's like I wrote this into my paper. It's like there's a period of time that's like a um, sort of premortal swamp of
mhm,
stuff just mixing around, and we're not sure how this music came about. Like, we know there was blues and jazz and all this kind of stuff that started around, we can go back to, say, maybe the late 19th century, basically, but we're not really sure where all this stuff came about. So it's like looking at the genome of African American music,
mhm,
and where it brings it back to is the banjo. So, to make it really quick and easy for everyone, the banjo is a black instrument. It's an African, well, it's a Caribbean instrument based off of African instruments built by the slaves who were brought over.
got ya.
It was, is, and always will be a black instrument. It was modified, and there were innovations and lots of great contributions from amazing white players and white banjoists and so on, and there continues to be. But it came from and is an African instrument, and this is something that's been lost.
Yeah.
Fact,
And well, like how like like stories just can get passed on and then change. And then um you and I like kind of elaborate on this conversation as well about like how it became this yoki doodle uh porch fucking instrument, like a dumbed down kind of like person playing it, you know what I mean? It's like, how did it become that? How did it become this like stereotypical, like this is southern, you know,
the
you know what I
stereotypical
mean? Like,
Southern hillbilly kind of thing. And I don't
yeah,
like to use
hillbilly.
the
That's
term,
what I was trying to get across. Yeah.
I don't
Like,
like
how
to
did
use
it
the word.
become
It's a
that?
little bit
Like,
derogatory, but the people who I don't have any 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 kind of like, thing against people who are from the hills or from Appalachia or whatever. But that was the term that it was used, and they didn't like that term. But even the OK Record Company used that term to describe the style of music that they were playing, and it was like, we'll call it hillbilly. And then when they realized they were kind of like insulting their audience, they're like, okay, let's call it old timey music. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah. Well, my
let's
bad. Sorry.
that's a great thing. Old timey music. It's kind of like, let's make
Sorry to
music
all the Billies
like.
South. Sorry to all the Billies in the South. I'll be there one day. So actually, it just was on a show in Atlanta tonight. So sorry.
No, that's Georgia.
I love the South.
They're
I
not in
was
that place. There's
the
a
only time I went down there really is to go to Florida, and we drove through Atlanta when the Jays won the World Series, and I had my like Blue Jays World Series T-shirt in and there, and I kind of rubbed the wrong people the wrong way, but
no,
whatever.
man. I haven't been. And I'm planning on going. For me, the last time I've been down in the States was in Tennessee, and I loved it. But I have a plan to do a little bit of a trip. I have to go to Florida.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what is your like we talked about it on IG before a bit. What is your like your
My
goals
dream,
and
my
like what are
goal.
your realistic goals of like when the weather gets good of where to go and touring? Is you think touring is going to come back? Are we going to do this shit? And where
Touring
would you like to go?
because you know what, this kind of stuff can be really cool, and I think
Yeah,
that we're going to be adding this to the live gig kind of thing. But the the feeling of being in a room with other people, of having the
there's nothing
sweaty,
like it.
crowded, you can't move. There's nothing like it. Like
Fuck. I would trade any I was just trying to remember cuz it was exactly a year ago was the last time I did shows and it was with you. And
yeah.
we had a little mini tour
One of the
and
last shows that we've done was together before
yeah,
the.
you, myself, and Leah. And then the next night I was in Ottawa. But I do remember because I went to Sherbrooke, which was a
Mhm.
blast, and it was Le Murdoch. The shout out to those guys and list the shack. It was a great place. But anyways, I had to get on a bus. It was the only bus to get me there in the morning, and I had to wait at a McDonald's for like 4 hours, and we met up. Like, I think we met up at like Drummondville, either Drummondville or Sherbrooke. I think it
Yeah,
was Drummondville because I came from
it was
Sherbrooke. We went to
Drummondville.
Drummondville. Anyways, I waited for you.
Coming back from Quebec City or
That's
something.
tough. That's, as a 40-year-old man, as a 41-year-old man, that's a tough one to take, fucking waiting McDonald's for 4 hours. But I would give anything for that right now. I would fucking do anything to be in that situation, to be on my way to a gig, to be meeting another musician like yourself and hanging out and shooting the shit and fucking just anything
Oh, it's
about
so
that.
weird to be
I'm,
like reminiscing and being nostalgic about that time the truck broke down and you were like,
yeah,
in that moment, you're like, fuck, 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 fuck. But, you know, you look back at it and it's like, I was out of the house.
yeah. I was fucking doing something. I was fucking making this music shit work, you know? It's like, yeah, no, it's like, it's, and now I know with a lot of people too, it's like it's been a year and it's been a long opportunity to like reflect and maybe catch up on shit. And like people like yourself have been on the road a long time. And then it's like I started getting like, good feelings about it. It's like, yeah, I'm glad I did that. And I remember that. That was fun. And let's do it again.
You know what? This period has been difficult, but honestly, there's been some good sides. The time to kind of reminisce and look at what we've done and be able to kind of process it, because that's the thing about life is that there's always one thing after the other, and it doesn't seem to kind of stop. So you got to like, this is an opportunity to like kind of lay back, reassess things, look at things, and be like, okay, I can actually have the time to process what I've done, see where I can improve. Also, take note of where I've done things well, and be like, keep doing that. But I mean, it's all relative. I spent this whole year, and I know that some of the viewers who have seen our talks before would know this. I spent this whole year really deeply embedded into this project. Um, I should probably maybe detail a little bit how it started. I never thought in my life, I'm a guitarist. I played in funk bands and jazz trained. I'm doing a lot of. I used to be a lot in the R&B kind of soul R&B funk world, and I'd grown up around like folk and country and stuff, but really that I'd moved into this genre of music that really was like, okay, you're a young black man, of course you're going to play soul, R&B, folk, maybe some blues. I grew up on the blues. My dad had all those records, but a lot of stuff that the modern stuff, like my dad had a lot of great records from you know Ella Fitzgerald and Aretha Franklin, like uh, all great
You
stuff.
can just grab anything and it's good. Just,
Yeah, like
yeah.
Lead Belly, like George Benson. I got to hear all this stuff that was just like a little bit all over the place, because my dad's tastes were just like, I like this, I'm going to buy it. He wasn't sitting there going in any kind of chronological order. He wasn't a musicologist. He didn't care about that stuff. He just really
Just what he
loved
liked.
good music, and he had a good taste. So his
Yeah.
record collection kind of was a good start off. But 10 years ago, I was working at that place Apollo. Like doing commercials, writing music for TV commercials and for TV
Gotcha. Like
shows. And
spots, like little jingle
yeah,
spots. And
yeah. This is like 2011. And right around that time, I don't know if you remember, but like on the radio, you got Mumford and Sons, you got
yeah.
uh, that other group there that's like Home. They did that song Home. Anyways, this whole kind of folk
Oh,
pop revival was going on. So what do people who want to sell you products do? They just want to take whatever's popular, a popular sound, and attach it to their product so that you think, hey, it's hip. They've got the hip new sound, and it's in their thing. Like, it's not even a conscious thing, but it's just trying to make you feel good about their product.
mm-hmm.
So a lot of the clients, their requests were for folky kind of stuff. And there in the studio, hanging off the wall, it didn't belong to me. It was my boss's banjo. It was a Fender banjo. I picked it up, brought it into my little booth where I'm working. It was like Tin Pan Alley. Everyone had their little booths and they're writing their songs. And I'm sitting there playing the banjo, and I fell in love. I was like, what is
Mm-hmm.
this sound? But can you believe it? For 9 years, I thought I was playing an instrument that, okay, I knew that there was some connection to Africa. I knew that,
Mm-hmm.
but honestly, I thought it was invented in America, in the United States, by a white man who was inspired by something from Africa. But it just I had no connection to it besides the fact that I liked the sound.
Mm-hmm.
And then a year ago, in conversation with someone, as I'm talking about Black History Month and the fact that I'm never really involved in it, and that because I'm doing this kind of folk music and playing banjo and stuff, maybe that's why. I said I should probably write about the banjo's connection to Africa, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
that will bring. And I said that, and I did not know at that point how much that connection was. I was like, it was just like something that just you blurred out, and then I went and looked online, and it took the top of
Rabbit
my
hole.
I was like, not only
Down
is
rabbit.
it was not invented by a white man. It was actually
Yeah.
invented in the Caribbean, not in America, by the slaves on the plantations.
Wow.
They remembered what they had in West Africa and rebuilt something. Mind you, they're no longer in their tribes, they're no longer in their groups and they're so on. They're now kind of mixed and they've formed a sort of new identity that is more Pan-African than
Mm-hmm.
say Ibu or Hosa or any of these tribes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're sitting there like creating this new instrument based on their old instruments, but they know each other, even if they're from different tribes. They know a little bit. They're not completely isolated from each other. They're living on the same continent. So as they're creating this instrument, they're even taking some of the European instrument making techniques to create it. Like the flat fingerboard and the tuning pegs. These guys,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "That's what is a banjo." If it doesn't have that flat fingerboard and the tuning pegs, it's not a banjo. It's something from Africa directly.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the banjo was created in the Caribbean, and I'm Caribbean, so I'm talking about my actual ancestors. I'm like, wow, took off my
Think
head
you need to go do some research there and get some
a little bit.
R and R. Yeah,
Maybe
get
one
some
day
R and R
I
there.
know what I'm
Some
talking
research and recovery,
about. Oh, I'm
and
going.
some RUM, a little bit of little rum. Yeah.
Uh, Alex, I'm going. I got to tell you,
We
like,
need a break, man. We need a holiday, man.
oh,
We need
I need a holiday, but I
something.
need a work holiday. I need to because
Yeah.
seriously, I'm going down to Florida with two of my buddies, and they have like a condo down there, and but I just had a meeting with one of the banjo scholars who's been doing this now for 20 years. He got into it in like the year 2000. And seriously, this guy is like a wealth of knowledge. I talked to him for twice for like an hour each time, and I'm just like, we didn't even finish. Like he couldn't even get through all the material that he's eventually we're just like, okay, we got to go, but it wasn't done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Amazing guy, old man named Tony Thomas, and just a wealth of knowledge and super generous with his time. Like I mean, get this. I email a guy to say, listen, I read your article from, I need a citation. I'd like to use your article in my piece, but I can't get a citation. Could you help me out? He's like, I can do better than that. Would you like to do a Zoom meeting instead of me just giving you the information? Why don't we do a Zoom meeting? You can actually use my words. I'm like,
Wow.
hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just okay, sure.
So that's where
That's
that started, and I just felt like, man, there's a whole community around this. It's still very obscure information. It's still not things. I still talk to American Black musicians. Have you ever heard of Freddie James? He's
no.
a R&B singer from Montreal, but he's from Detroit originally, and well, Chicago and Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
and but sort of raised here.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to him about this because I was saying, did you know this? This is, I mean, we're all here up in Canada. We're not really not American. We are American as well. But he's from the States where the banjo is like really kind of, that's where it blew up. I know it came from
Yeah.
the Caribbean, but it blew up and became super popular in the States.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, the rest of the world. And so I was asking him, did you know this? And it's not that long ago. Like, it's about 100 years ago. No one would
That's
have
not
said
long.
everyone would have said the banjo is a black instrument.
That's not long when you're looking at like history and origins of something. It's not long at all.
Especially when you look at people's lifetimes. Like, we know people
Yeah.
who live 100
That's
years.
like, that's your grandfather, your great grandfather.
Exactly. So when he was a
Yeah.
kid, everyone would have said,
that's your great grandfather 100 years ago, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Your grandfather, your great grandfather, when they were a kid, would have said, that's a black instrument.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
100 years later, not
Ding,
even
ding, 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 ding. Yeah. It's like
later,
all of a sudden.
now 100 years later, we're starting to come back a little bit, but
yeah.
Completely
Well, like you
different.
said, like we said before, it's like you're just like just tip of the iceberg. And this could be a whole other, a whole other thing that leads you down another avenue for something. And it's good that you found an interest in something. And then also it's like the timing of this whole fucking lockdown and shit. So you really like focus it on it, focus on it.
Research and do all kinds of writing.
Some research.
Research. Sorry, sometimes things comes out like I'm like research.
It's the Fringlish, right? Yeah.
Fringlish.
What do you want to promote? Like, we got a couple of videos on the hot cake. Do you want to play something, or do you want to show a video?
You know what? Let's do a video first. Let's show them a little bit of Love Me.
The Love Me video. So give us a little setup here.
Well,
you want to give us a little.
It's a nice little country swing song. It's pretty simple. It does feature some banjo, but it's not. It's just a general nice little country song. Gotcha. And I think it kind of harkens back to an older time in country. Like, I'm not always that. When I listen to country, sometimes there's stuff that I'm just like, no, that doesn't touch me. So I try to do a kind of country that really does touch me, and I find that there's other people who might not always be fans of country, but who also like this. So take it away.
And I've got to hear several awesome versions of it, us touring. Always a nice one. It makes me feel at ease. It's nice. All right, let's go to Sule. Love Me. I'm gonna change it.
I walk right up and tell you I love you, but you call my bluff and think I'm a fool. But you take me and break me, leave me all alone. If you knew how high you were in my eyes, would you make me cry, bleed me dry and say goodbye, and turn my heart to stone? Or would you love me? Would you love me, love me, love me? If you knew just how I feel, would you follow suit or tell yourself that love ain't real and kill this thing before it can grow? Would you take my soul felt summer breeze and let it blow until it freezes and bury my heart deep beneath the winter snow? Or would you love me? Would you love me, love me, love me? Said, would you love me? Would you love me, love me, love me? Trust isn't easy to come by, and it can cost so much. I've been a fool before, and I'm back for more. So if I came to you and I told you I loved you, what would you do? Would you call it a bluff, or would you take me and break me and leave me all alone? Or would you love me? Would you love me, love me, love me? Yeah. Would you love me?
Oh yes, that is "Love Me"
There's that,
by
there's that
Sule, and
So,
we're gonna
so
get
you
that.
see, they're the ones who did last episode, but yeah,
Yeah,
is what it is.
it is what it is. Now I'm trying to get the split screen going again with us. So you know what? I'm just gonna keep it on you. And are you ready to play? Do you want to play something?
Sure.
Or let's chit chat a little second. Yeah, you tell me what you like.
I was thinking of playing either the Ballad of Bad News Brown, which is off of my old album, and
Gotcha.
it's a homage to Bad News Brown, rapper from Montreal, or a new song called "Going My Way," which is about to be released, not released yet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I got a little story about me and my beat up banjo, beat up pickup truck, a little voyage we took. I don't actually have a beat up pickup truck, but for the sake of the story, just pretend I do. Jumped up in my truck, took off like a buck down the road. She was looking fine, come up by the exit sign, whoa-ee-ho. And she said, are you going my ways? I tripped down the highway singing dang-diggy, 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 dang-diggy. Well, are you going my ways? I tripped down the highway singing dang-diggy, 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 dang-diggy. Just past the edge of town, the old house past the sign, whoa-ee-ho. This dude looking rude told me it was time to go ee-ho. And they said, are you going my ways? I tripped down the highway singing dang-diggy-dang-diggy-dang-diggy-diggy. Well, are you going my way? Singing dang-diggy-dang-diggy-dang-diggy-dang-diggy-diggy. So now we're three in the cab. And it's getting a little bit crowded, you know? Got this strange sound coming up from the engine light coming on. I don't pay no mind, because I see up ahead on the road there's two more people who need a ride. Bunch of stinky hippies. So I stop. Just past the railroad tracks, two more climbed up back, whoa-ee-ho. Smelling like wax and wine, sleeping in those sacred pines, whoa-ee-ho. And they said, are you going my ways? I tripped down the highway singing dang-diggy-dang-diggy-dang-diggy-dang-diggy. Are you going my way? singing dang diggy dang 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 diggy diggy. Just south of Nowhere Town, the engine died. Damn. And the truck broke down. Whoa-ee-oh. I thank God our faith remained as the truck sold up just before it rained. Whoa-ee-oh. And they said, are you going my ways? I tripped down the highway singing dang diggy dang 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 diggy diggy. Well, are you going my ways? Singing dang diggy dang 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 diggy diggy. Are you going my ways? I tripped down the highway singing dang diggy dang 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 diggy diggy. Well, are you going my way? Singing dang diggy dang 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 diggy diggy. Singing dang diggy dang 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 diggy diggy. Singing dang diggy dang 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 diggy diggy.
Dang it, dang, 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 dang. Thank you, sir. That's amazing. That was awesome. Dang this freaking split screen. Let me just refresh again.
Dang the split screen. Hey. Hi.
Is it there? We got Olipage in here.
Hey, Ollie.
All together. Here, hold on. He's muted. How's it going, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. Thanks
Thank you very much for having me. I'm missing some light on my face. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry I came to you
better.
too soon. I tried to do the split, but we ended up with 3, so it's even better.
Yeah,
It's all good. It's all good, boys. What's up?
Just chilling. We're just jamming away. Sule just played a song, and we did a video, and we're just saying hello to you to start. And
Well, that's very nice of you. I feel involved now, so
Nice.
that's good.
Yeah. So, how's Sule? Anything you want to say? Any more plugs you want to?
You know
Push?
what? I'm just here working on my stuff. I'm definitely, if people are interested in what I'm doing, this kind of study is going to inform my album. So the next album is going to, I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to release it. Like I said, I'm working on a plan B for the release thing because the fuckers at Factor, I can say
Fucking
that
Factor.
on the channel, right?
Yeah, whatever. I don't know.
By the way, thank you, Factor, for funding my last one, but fuck you for not funding this one. There we go.
Anyways, you're an OG. You could say whatever the hell you want, man.
Yeah, man, at this point, who's gonna say it? You gonna say something?
You want to say something? Anyways, poor Ollie's caught in the middle here.
Yeah, it's like, guys, if you want to fight, now's not the time.
Take it outside.
Yeah.
No,
Anyways, our
that-
rant has kind of gone on as per usual. We just it just slithers away into like a 80-minute conversation.
That's okay. I can wait. I really don't mind.
No, it's all good. Yeah. So thanks for coming in, buddy. I appreciate it. Thanks.
I love you guys.
Love you, man.
It's great to see you, and we'll all talk soon. Peace, brother.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, so.
Sule, everybody. Now we got Olipage here. What's up, buddy?
I'm very happy. I just did a show that I do every Friday night at 8 from 8 to 9. It's the open mic on Backdoor Montreal, and
Nice.
that's the podcast I host.
Do you want to give some plugs or?
Well, some plugs, like some electric plugs, or that was really bad.
Do you have a link for that? What's the link for that?
Well, if people are interested in Backdoor Montreal for that podcast, this podcast is just to show the behind the scenes of the Montreal music scene. Wicked. And so that's why we do most of our stuff on Instagram in live mode. So there's an open mic every Friday night. Anyone can come in and just talk about their stuff. That's like one of the bases. Like just talk, not making music, just talk about like what's going on. That's what we're about. And every Sunday of every 2 weeks, we release a new podcast in studio, like a very professional one.
Oh wow.
It's a film that you should go check it out. Actually, if you haven't seen it,
I have seen it. It's very well done.
Yeah.
You guys have executed very well.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Focused.
Yeah.
It's a really cool studio called Machine 4771, and it's
Gotcha.
in Saint Thérèse near Montreal. And I love this place. It's ran by Dan. Dan is a guy that's so addicted to recording podcasts. He started this thing in his basement, and
Brilliant.
the same decor in his basement, the same decorations, the motorcycle, the garage door, all
It's a
the
dope
crazy.
set, man. Like I was wondering how you got it together so quickly, and I was like,
It's not quick. It wasn't quick.
Yeah,
He's been
yeah.
working on that for like 2 years. So,
Gotcha. That's why it just appeared when I started watching. So obviously he had this in mind pre-pandemic, pre-lockdown.
Yeah. It just happened that for the pandemic, it was really useful. So in this case, he just started this because he started doing podcast recording in a studio just for fun, because he's a 50-year-old man that started doing this just for fun. He has his company that he almost doesn't have to run anymore. It's doing great. So he's making money out of that. And he's thinking like, well, all the rest of my time, I'm just going to do whatever I want. And now he started this podcast. And not the podcast, the studio.
Gotcha.
And the studio is awesome, man. It's awesome. It's a great place to go. Every time I go there, I don't feel rushed. It's not the kind of place like, okay, we got to film 3 podcasts today. So one at this time, one at this time. It's not rushing at all. You have fun. You just come in and just drink your coffee. You take a beer if you want. You film whatever time you need, and you get out. And it's all just for fun. And yes, to answer your previous question, it was pre-pandemic. It was just for fun for him. And when the pandemic started, it was like, okay, whatever, I'll just stop filming for a while. And he stopped for like a month. And then it started again, like even more, because people were starting to do that kind of stuff. Like they couldn't get together anymore. So they started doing podcasts and filming. So it was just very useful. It turned out that it was made for this. So it turned out really great for the momentum of it.
Yeah.
And he asked me, like, it went really great. He started to have lots of gigs for filming podcasts for clients. And now the rent is paid for like 2 or 3 years already. So
that's amazing.
He's like, it is. It is. And so he said, Ali, we should start a house podcast. And the house podcast should be hosted by you. And he only knew me because he filmed a few of my live sessions, because he wanted to test his cameras and his audio.
Wow.
He just wanted to test, and he liked my vibe. And it was.
Well, you're a great host, man. You're very engaging, and you have all the facets for a great host. And
I have a great profile.
Yes, you do.
Great.
Yeah. Yes. Very good profile. Yes. Camera 2.
Nose and everything.
Camera 1. Yeah.
So yeah, and turns out I love doing this. Like I've been doing a lot of hosting events and whatever for weddings or selling cakes for charity. I've done that kind of stuff to help out, and it was paid. But now I'm actually doing a project that's I'm really passionate about. That podcast, I'm really passionate about it. It's awesome. It's everything I've ever wanted. It's like
man.
It's
pro.
Also,
it looks really pro, and it's really professionally done, man.
Yeah, it is. And think about all these, these open mics we go to in Montreal. We used to go to it's just one person with a backpack doing everything and not getting paid by the owner, and all these stuff. In my case, and like this, I feel blessed because I'm not coming in with a backpack and a M-Audio card, just thinking, look, okay, I'm going to film you with my cell phone. It's something like we are a team. There's lots of stuff that's happening that I don't have to think about, because he takes care of it, and he's doing great stuff. So I don't have to think about it. I think I'm made to work in teams. I think that's where I'm
sure. Yeah, you definitely seem like a good team leader as well. And when presented with an opportunity, you're running with it. This is great. And man, foresight from this guy to have this set up and to get it going, and then seeing an opportunity when the lockdown came to really let it thrive and grow. And it looks really
I
well
think it
done.
just
And like,
happened.
yeah,
Uh,
it's timing is everything too, right? It's like, and if almost like you're almost always just working at something, and then as an opportunity will present itself to you, and then you're ready. You have something kind of ready to go
exactly.
with already. It's
Because he didn't plan on the pandemic at
no,
all. You know,
nobody
he
planned
started it
that. Nobody's
2
like,
years
shit,
before
oh,
that.
fuck. Yeah.
He's like,
Like all of a
you know
sudden,
what, Ali? I have a plan.
yeah, yeah,
I know what's
yeah.
gonna happen. I can't tell you what's gonna happen, but I have a plan for you.
That's exciting. That's exciting when somebody says that. They're like, I got to show you. I can't explain it to you. It's just like you got to see it, and
Yeah,
that's great.
I,
Congratulations, man! It looks so awesome, and it sounds good, and it's a great platform. You guys are killing it, man. It's
I so far so good, I think, but I wanna aim higher in terms of the podcast. You know that I have certain goals that I want to reach before I stop,
mm-hmm.
and I want, for instance, like at least one sponsor.
Yeah.
I'm not stopping until I have at least one sponsor. That's one of my goals, and also uh, I think I want to. Oh yeah, Dan has this great idea. Okay, he
I'm
bought a
just getting
bus.
my coffee. I'm listening too.
Really,
It's
you're getting coffee?
it's overflowing.
Oh no, no, go go
But
go go go
I'm
go
listening. I still got my headset on. So
go
go
go.
ahead. Tell us what
Overflowing.
you're.
Since we're talking about coffee, I will tell you before I talk about the idea of the bus. I'm addicted to caffeine in a very severe way. I I cannot stop myself from drinking it. Like
Me
it's
too.
and yeah, I used to drink like 2 liters a day in CJIP, and that was a lot. That was a lot of coffee. And at one point, I was drinking so much coffee that I had headaches, and to stop the headaches, I had to drink more coffee. And I've reached a point that I I drank the coffee to get the headache away, and the headache stayed. And I
Oh
drank
wow.
another coffee, and the headache stayed. And I was like, okay, I've reached a point of no return or something. So I have to stop right away. And I did a dry week of 7 or 10 days, and I was a zombie for 10 days. I didn't do shit. I was doing nothing. And
It's all that
it's
energy trying to get back to where it was before. It's like, oh yeah, coffee's good, but it's also like, yeah, it could be.
I've studied it a lot, okay? Because my next EP is gonna be called Caffeine Addiction, and I wanted to write lyrics to show, not to show. I wanted to write lyrics that made sense with my addiction, and that I didn't want to seem like I was trying to figure out what I was feeling. I wanted to write about the thing
Gotcha.
and show the scientific side of it, and maybe like actually know what I'm talking about before I start writing lyrics about it. And the coffee is a trade-off.
Gotcha.
It's not a dangerous drug. You need to drink around 150 cups in 1 hour to die from caffeine, and you will die from drowning before that.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty hard.
caffeine is it's not damaging. It's not destroying you. It's not making anything worse. It's not actually, yes, it is, but it's not the source of a disease or something. You won't get
Yes.
cancer from it. Actually,
Yeah.
the contrary. But it can make some diseases worse. For instance,
Gotcha.
like irritation of the bowels or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you got to be careful with those things. If you're having problem digesting, caffeine can hurt you, or like nervous systems. Like if you have a pacemaker or whatever, don't drink caffeine. That's
Yeah.
like
Exactly.
taking a gun, and you're not smart when you're doing it. Anyway, turns
Don't
out that
yeah.
caffeine is yeah.
No, sorry. Keep going. I'm just gonna.
Turns out that caffeine is actually the same thing as cocaine in a very micro way. Like it just takes out the adenosine. which is the gland that's responsible from your tiredness. Like you get tired because you have a lot of adenosine in your brain receptors. But instead, the caffeine, which is the same size and the same thing as adenosine, just takes the place instead. And adenosine is like, I don't know where to go, and it's trapped there.
Kind of like somebody had too much coffee.
Yeah, like I don't know where to go, and it just doesn't know where to go. So it's waiting there. Your glands of adenosine are waiting there.
Gotcha.
So your brain multiplies the receptors, and so the adenosine can go instead. And then at some point when the caffeine is off, you have a lot of receptors, and then adenosine takes this place. So you're very tired instead of just being tired. So that's what I've noticed. And if you take a lot of caffeine, that's multiplies the effect. Keeps going, you get multiply more and more and more. It takes more time to go back. Cocaine is the same thing, but it's like 10 coffees in one shot. So
cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, you get hit in the face. Like
so Rick James said, right?
Yeah, but anyway, I'm talking about caffeine and all, but you just said cocaine's a hard drug. I don't have any hard drug stories.
No, it's a hell of a drug. That's that from Rick James, the Dave Chappelle sketch. He's like, cocaine, it's a hell of a drug.
Hell of a drug. Yeah. Hell of a drug. Like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he did. He sure did. He knows what he knows what he's talking about. But you have a music video about coffee, don't you? Or is it coffee themed?
Yeah, actually this shirt is coffee themed. Like, and it's because of the color, not because of the cows.
Gotcha.
Just making sure. And I do. It's called Shove It. The song.
I think I have it here. Do you want to play it, or should we show it?
It's your show, man. You know what it is. You know what you do what you want to do with it.
Sure.
I'll just go with it. I'll say yes.
Okay. So I'll show the video, and maybe we can come back and play a live track if you want. Or
okay.
If you're ready.
Cool. I'm for it.
All right. Yeah. Got Olipage here, live.
Live.
All right. Thanks, man. We're gonna throw your video here called "Shove It."
Shove it.
Shove it.
Can I stay in the corner with the audio and just comment on everything?
I think you can. I think it's split 3 ways, and I'm gonna bring it in momentarily.
Because that'd be sick. It would be sick. That if we could do that, and
I think your audio is still hot. Yeah, your audio mic still might still be hot. So we'll try it out. All right.
Hot. I get
2,
it.
1.
I get what you mean. Okay. Audio still hot?
Yeah, I hear you, but we're gonna share this. Start it over.
Started good.
There we go from the top.
Yes. That's caffeine right there.
Freshly shaved.
Yeah, I had someone take care of my makeup first time in my life. I think it shows.
Look great.
Ever since the first kiss, which part did I miss? Let's get back to the basics, which is me hearing myself say.
That's why it's fast forward. That was really hard to
I've been waiting for a while for things.
Those harmonies, like that was more like this video. And that part was hard because the experts had to run and back. Got it. Shut.
And go back to the river.
That was the
I'm going back to the
halfway there. It's not one shot.
This is dope, man.
When you have to wear the mask to be loved and take it off to feel it.
You see on the floor, like it accumulates in time.
Is it making you feel alone? When I slide in you, I wanna be me. I'll be Tom Petty with you, and we'll be falling free. Which is me hearing myself say, just shove it. She wants to feel the real you, so shove it.
And that's my brother actually on the right. The wire shirt there.
Got you.
All these guys, actually, yeah. That video too.
We're complaints on and on again. Guess it's time for me to end the fake.
And you can see on my face that I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Really trying like not really hard.
And all I've heard is we're complaints with a different name. If it weren't for the heat between our legs, I'd be
That's right.
instant.
And then I was like, is that covered up? Is that covered
I'd be
up?
gone in an instant. I'd be gone in an instant. What you say, what you do. I'd be gone in an instant. What you say, what you do. I'd be gone in an instant. What you say, what you do. I'd be gone in an instant.
That was really fun.
I love the coffee bean light.
Yeah, the copy projection.
Yeah, the projector. That's dope, man. That's like really thinking. That's really well done. That
Dude,
was
actually,
like,
it's funny that you say that because it's the thing we didn't think through. Like,
oh really?
you
It was just
found
like
a way. Yeah,
that's what's cool about being on set, though. You kind of like that's like being in the studio too. When you're on set, you have everything set, and then you're like, oh, why don't we do that too? Let's do that too. And yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, why
when
not?
you figure it out on the set, and so I understand. Yeah, like I've done quite a few music videos and worked in production for 20 years. Those are long days, man. Those are like those could be like up to 12 or no, but you guys are well organized then. It's usually if you're just short day and you can get a lot of stuff, then you're well organized. That seems like you guys were well organized and choreographed well, and that takes a lot of work, dude. That choreography to like get everybody in the right time, to throw stuff at the right time, to do all that at the right time. You need that base foundation of everybody being on the same page, and like it looks really well done. Well executed.
Everybody was super competent because it didn't take that much. Like Mathieu Sanson, the director, he's a hell of a guy. He's working really hard all the time, and this is his studio with his material in it, so that helps a lot. Like there's no transportation, so
that's huge. That's like
that's a huge thing.
That's a huge, and if you have one location, that's a big thing too. And variables like that really add up for your day to go smoother. And it's like it looks like you had a good team.
It's a one take, so at the end of the day, if we did 6 takes, we're gonna take the best one. So it was really not stressful, especially for me. I was not stressed at all. All I had to do was stay in my spot, sing the lyrics, fake singing the lyrics, and just slow motion play the guitar. You know how lazy that is? I'm the one for paying all this, and everybody's like running around doing all these stuff that Mathieu is telling them, like, okay, we got to do this. Okay, we got to do that. Never has he spoken to me. Like, I just stay there.
Good director.
I don't
That's
move,
a good director.
It's a good director.
A good director says very little, and he just lets it happen. That's a good director. He just allows it, gets out of the way, and lets the thing happen, and just kind of guides it and directs it. That's a good director. A director lets the talent work within its confines. It's really well done. You know what it reminded me of Jack Johnson video, the Waiting for You, and he's in the chair, and all this stuff is going on around him. And I think that was one shot as well. And it was just like him waiting, and he's like, all this action happened behind him. That was cool. I love those one take shots. Those are really cool. Those are really,
Yeah,
really
I
well
think I'm
done.
gonna do that for all my videos. Like
That's
I
dope.
I would like it to be like something that people say, "Oh yeah, of course, Olipage. That's what he does. That's what he
That's
does."
your thing. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. So
I
I would
got you.
like that. It's effortless for me. It's not that big of a deal. I'd rather that than just say, "Okay, let's go film some extra scenes near you just drinking the cup of coffee." No,
Yeah,
man, it's just the one thing that lives in the moment. It also
yeah,
goes well with what I do. I do some looping. I do live looping. So every time I play the song, it's always different. It's
yeah.
always, and I play solo with one guitar, one pedal, and sometimes with a pad. So everything is captured in one take as well. It's the same kind of things, the same kind of feeling. So I think the people who enjoy my music and my performances will enjoy my videos if they are made in the same energy, the same way. So I think I should follow my instinct on this. What do you think?
I think your instincts are dead on, and you should always go with your instincts. And it's
Stay
really cool
focused.
to, yeah, it's cool to fun. It's really cool that you have that, like, you have that persona of the whole picture of, like, you want it to look like your art pieces, like your music videos are an extension of your music, of what you're trying to interpret. So if that's the same thing, and it comes out visually, that's great, man. And you can,
Yeah, but
that's,
don't you think that's like a super hard thing to do, to
it
visualize
is.
your music videos?
It is. It's hard and it takes a while. And I've done all my own music videos, and I've had lots of help from amazing, talented crew members. But like an idea, it almost comes up for years sometimes. Like I would be listening to a song traveling, and I'm like, I'm visualizing how I would like it to go, and then you write something down, like a treatment or something, or just like a quick um, description of it, and then you execute it, and sometimes it just comes off completely different of what you planned, or it just like it goes to the script. But sometimes I've done videos where it's totally scripted like that and structured, and I've done stuff where it's just like guerrilla style.
Hmm.
And I've also kind of just like taken advantage of certain opportunities when it just came up, and it's like, oh, let's just shoot a fucking video. And uh, last year we were in Seattle in January. I got to go to Seattle and Portland to do a mini tour. And the last day we were there, my buddy's like, let's just shoot a music video. And I'm like, all right. So
Why not?
we ended up by accident, we ended up on this island off Seattle, and it happened to be like the army base of all the aircraft carriers for the entire like US fleet. We just accidentally spent the weekend there, and there's like this crazy ships in the background and all this stuff, and we just kept
Wow.
walking and walking, and everywhere we walked was like an amazing scene, like this old abandoned movie theater. And it was just like every location, it was like, man, this is the perfect shot. And we went to Seattle for the day, and it didn't rain the whole day. Like we were there for 2 weeks, and it rained every day. And the last day we were there, we just happened to get all this footage, like crazy footage. And I don't know if you were following like the riots in the States over the summer,
Yeah,
and
kind of.
Seattle was like this center of like rebellion with this 7 blocks of lockdown. And where we had shot the whole video, that's where all of this had happened. Like after, like 6 months after, we just
So
like,
it was hot. It was a good scene because that's where the shit is
that's
happening.
where all the
So
action
it
happened.
seemed
And
like accurate.
I do that by accident all the time. I just kind of like just go with my instincts, like you're
Okay,
saying. You
it's
go
not the first
instinctually.
time.
No, I do that all the time. I just shoot stuff and I have it, and then I'm like, oh fuck, wow, that correlates. And like, here, let me show you a little video. I have
Let's
this
go.
one music video I shot. It's called Gamma Ray. It's one of my favorite songs, actually.
Let's go,
And
man.
everywhere I go, I shoot B-roll footage. I've been a camera operator for 20 years. So I always take my
Mm.
camera with me. And I just got B-roll footage of like when I was in Bermuda, Bahamas, and Barbados. And then so I had all this footage, and then I looked at it and I'm like, fuck, I got enough footage for a music video now. So I'll just put it together, and there you go. So I'm gonna just give you a teaser of it. Let's check it out. It's called Gamma Ray.
Oh, let's go, man.
One-way ticket on an Astro plane. I close my eyes on a Gamma Ray. One-way ticket on an Astro plane. I close my eyes on a Gamma Ray. Well, that part was in my apartment. Yeah, so it's just like I do that by accident all the time, but I was always like, even when I was like 20 years old, I always wrote like, a script. I always made a script. I always made a story. I always like did the full paperwork. I did like the shot lists. I'm not a good drawer, so I never did a storyboard. I always did a shot list and then like a whole rundown of like the scene, and I made like a story, and then you have your performance shots. So you have a storyline, and then you have your locations where you do, so I did videos like that before, but then when I started traveling, I just started doing videos on my own, and I was like, I just want to do videos for no budget and just be more kind of creative and loose, you know what I mean? So now that I've done all that, I want to go back to the structure of making a really good video of like writing out a script, doing a proper shot list, having a call sheet for everybody, doing location scouting, you know what I mean? Doing all the proper facets to prepare yourself for a good shooting day. So if you're prepared better, you can get the shots you want, or when something like the lighting thing comes up for you, you're set. You guys have it. You're ready. You have all the gear, and you're in the right location. And then your creativity can allow you to get all that other stuff. It's like going to the studio with your lyrics. You have something prepared with you, but you're also leaving option open to be creative as well, right? So it's that's where I go. Anyways,
what makes you want to go back? You had so much fun. I mean, obviously you had so much fun doing the easy way out scenes like this. Why do you want to go back to scripting?
I can only do so much by myself, and I can only like when I do that non-scripting stuff, it's all for me in my head. Really, I can figure it out. Like I'm shooting and I'm editing at the same time in my head, right? So I'm shooting the way I'm editing, right? So it's very sloppy and it's very chaotic, but to me it's like organized, and I know I'm going to use this clip and this clip. And it helps a lot when you shoot it yourself and you go to cut, you're like, I already seen this footage. I like this clip. I don't like this clip. I can live without this clip. And then but I want to start, like, I get in the bad habit, and I used to get in the bad habit of wearing too many hats, right? So it's like, as I get older and I get more experience, I'm really putting more trust in people who are good at what they do. And I'm just like, I want to be teamed up with people like that and expand like that. So I'm very fortunate because I've worked in television for 20 years, and I have a lot of good friends who have good gear and are great, amazing camera operators. So I've stepped up my game. For the last video we did, the papers, was shot with an FS7, so that was really sweet. And we're gonna get some drone stuff out soon. Like,
that's really what I was gonna ask. Drones. When are the drones coming in?
Here, I got a drone shot right here. Let me check it out. Let's go right here.
Let's go.
And this is with Leah. This is the track with Leah.
Short on the deal, bad instinct, should've listened
legit, but I had to make moves, never stop, quit. Focus, independent, shining. Pre-internet, hustler, meg, hiding, greasy, grinding, tedious timing.
Yeah, I saw that before. I've seen
That
this
was
before, and I was like, oh shit, nice.
my brother-in-law had just got a drone, and that's up by my parents' place in Midland. And that was pretty much exactly a year ago. And it was like the first time getting out after like being in lockdown for a month. And it was just like, he's like, let's go get some B-roll. So did it, got it, clipped it. And I used it for something last year, and I'm just repurposing the footage again and reusing it. And, but yeah, I have a good friend who works for ET Canada, and he has a drone that is like one of these racing drones. It's like the really fast ones. So we're going to go test it out next week, and I'm looking forward to it because I got a couple fast songs and I want to do something really, really fast. And speaking of music video ideas, it's like I've written a few music video ideas that I have on the shelf. And so I thought of a song, and I have this music video from a year, like 10 years ago, that I wrote down, and I made a idea out of it, so I can bring that forward into this new project. And yeah.
Is this something you're going to show us now, or?
No, I don't have any clips of that yet. Oh, I can show you a clip of the latest video. This is the Papers, and this was shot with the FS7. This is pretty sweet.
I want to see that FS7.
Here we go. Proceed, but don't listen. Wishes for the truth, achieving new victims. Visions believe, tweaking, twin peaking. Pinpoint your speeches, edit, copy, delete them. Emotions investing, headline deceiving. Hard drives lost, destroying path. Yeah, that's a little choppy. It's just a little choppy, I think, the delivery. But you can check it out on YouTube. But
it exists.
Ryan just
like
came
already
over.
Released.
Yeah, if you look at the Papers on YouTube, it's out. It's been out since January.
And why is the little alien holding your weed?
So that guy, he's right here actually. Alien is my buddy.
Alien. Okay, hi.
Alien. Yeah. So my mother went to Roswell, and she got me that. She got me this little guy. She brought it back for me. She went for that Roswell thing they do every year on 4th of July. They do the UFO reenactment.
Really?
They do yeah, it's cool. They go all the way to Roswell, and then they come back to where is it? Why can't I? Yeah, Roswell. Yeah. And
Area 51.
Yeah. So she went in there. She's all into that, and her and I have long discussions about stuff like that. And so she brought it back to me, and then I was on tour in the East Coast. I went to Nova Scotia, PEI, all over. It was great. And then I came back to Montreal, and I lived in Montreal for a month. I stayed in St. Henry's. And that's when I had just met Leah. So I did this show in, I can't remember what it's called, Art Jam or something.
It's awesome that we're talking about Art Jam.
Yes. So Art Jam, what's her name? I'm so sorry. I don't remember her name, but she's a sweet, lovely young girl who runs this. She runs the Art Jam.
It's not just one person. It's a Good Vibe People. It's a company. And
yeah. Okay. My bad.
There's Sasha. I know Sasha. I didn't know there was a girl.
Okay. Well, there's one other girl that I reached out to, and so I applied for it, and I got it. And I was one of the performers, and it was like near the end of August. So just as I'd moved into Montreal, I came in, and we did this art show. It was like freaking loft apartment, and there's like 8 painters around, and they're all painting as we're performing. So it's like I went first, I performed, and then this group, this duo, Kuf Knotts and Christine Elise, they are fucking phenomenal. They're from Philadelphia. He's from Philadelphia, and she's from New Jersey. And I had met them there. And then Leah played to close out the night. So the 4 of us hit it off. And anyways, I stayed in Montreal for that following month, the whole September. and I had really bad allergies, and it was really like really I was living near that new on ramp where they were building in St. Henry's there, and all this dust was coming in. So I was like house ridden. I couldn't go anywhere. I was like stuck in the apartment. So I had this little guy with me, and I really desperately wanted to make a music video. So I was like, fuck, I have no money and I have nothing to go on.
I'll just buy an FS7.
Oh, what? No, this is like 2 years ago. So okay. I had my Canon camera, and I had made a stop motion video before. I made one with a Barbie doll who was an exotic dancer. It's it's called.
Keep going.
It's one of my first songs. It's called Streetwalker, and she's like, it's a Barbie doll that's actually like just stripping and stuff like that. It's hilarious.
So
anyways,
psycho.
I made a. It's pretty dope. It's actually really good. It's I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's really good.
Of weird guys watching your video like.
No, it's actually like it's a Barbie. She doesn't get naked, but she's like strip teasing, and she's on like a stripper pole. And there's Transformers. They're like all these Transformer toys that are like in perverts row. Anywho, so I did that. I had that stop motion video under my belt, so I decided to do a stop motion video with this little guy, and I was like, how do I get him to move my arms and the arms and legs and all that shit? And I'm like, he doesn't need to move that. He's an alien. He could just float. He could just kind of like appear and disappear, and he can hover and all that. And so I got around like those little tedious things with editing, right? With like stop motion, because it's very fucking tedious to move the guy, take a shot, move the guy again. It's really hard. And so I did it all. I did it all by myself. It's like 2,000 pictures. And then I went up north to like near Tremblant for the day, and it was so hot. It was like 40 degrees. And I went up there and I took this little guy, and I just took all these photos. And so it's called Cool Cats, and it's basically just like little guy, he's rummaging through the files, like top secret files, and he's just like looking for CIA files, and that's but yeah, that's my story with this guy, and he's my reoccurring. So we just decided to shoot this B-roll for the papers, and he was gonna be like the theme of it, right? And I was gonna have like this whole video on him. So Ryan just called me last minute, and he's like, I got this camera, you want to shoot some stuff? I'm like, all right. So I threw together like a little idea, and then we shot it in here, and it was not planned a lot. So we just got all this B-roll, and I thought, I'm not really going to use it for anything. I just thought it was going to be a little promo. And then a couple months ago, I started looking through all the footage, and I was like, geez, I can make this into a whole music video, because all the footage was like kind of in slow motion, right? Like yours. And so it's like almost you have double the amount of footage now because it's going in slow motion. I doubled up on a lot of the shots, but yeah, it's and that was just like us fucking around for a couple hours. And so if we actually planned it and we structured it better, then we could get, you know, more of a
that's where you want to get
professional video. Yeah, I want to be prepared more next time. I want to come with something prepared, and then we can just shoot the shit. And yeah. And
how many hours a week do you spend on your project?
I'm always doing something else. I'm like the last 2 months, or the last month, I've been catching up on all of my business shit for all this. Like my ISRC codes, my coding, Audium, I'm getting changed up. I'm getting after DistroKid to organize my catalog on each page. And yeah, well, I got
my shit, DistroKid.
Get organized my shit. There's another band actually called Focused, and they're from Santa Monica. And they're this Christian band. And well, it's a word. I kind of cornered the name a while ago but these guys decided to release stuff. So my shit and their shit got mixed up in every single store. And so it's like,
Oh,
They
Paul.
they messaged me and they threatened me. These guys, they're like,
No freaking way.
yeah, I have the message and it says, we're a Christian rock band from Santa Monica. We've been around since 1995 and we're the Name Focused. And we would like to keep using this name and we would like you to stop using this name. And they're
course.
saying, if you
Solid
don't,
argument.
if we don't, we're going to press legal action. And I was like, okay. And Roger, who plays most of my, he plays a lot of guitar and keyboard on my albums, is a lawyer now, and he knows all about copyright. He's a copyright lawyer now. So watch out if you're coming after Focus.
Yeah,
I'm lawyered.
You better get your paperwork
I'm
right.
lawyered the fuck up, man. So watch out. I asked him, and he's like, he laughed. He's like, give me a fucking break. It's like they have to go through like so many arbitrations and like spend money just to go after a name, and it's like it's a word, and it's like you put your risk out there with, you know, mixing it up and stuff like that. So I have to organize that. But I've always had a good work ethic. I've always been like a grinder. I've always made my own opportunities. I've never waited for anybody.
And you've never bragged about it before now.
I like bragging. I do fucking brag. Once you get to know me, it's like, shut me the fuck up.
Look at my videos. Look.
Yeah.
You're not looking.
Watch it. Be engaged.
No, that's a crazy story, man. People send you lots of
trying stuff. And so every time I release something, it gets mixed up with that, and then it's just weird shit. I've had lots of cool weird stories, but that's all good, man. It's I was talking to some guy. There was I did a show at Revival, and it was these guys at Sony I was talking to. They're kind of interested in taking my whole catalog, and so I was talking to him about that, and I'm like, what should I do? And he's like, well, you just got to be the bigger focused. He's like, you got to be like you have to have a bigger presence, and so
that bigger fish. Yeah, you just got to be the bigger fish.
I've always thought of that, so I just keep putting out shit, and I've like I said, I've worked in production for 20 years, so I'm this is what I'm gearing towards, and I just started this last year, exactly a year ago, March 20th. I looked on my thing, was the first time I made a live stream, and this is what I wanted to do. Like, this was the outcome, but I didn't know how to get there. I just knew that I needed to get it going, so I just tried, and the best I could do was just have the mic and this, right? So that's where I started, and now, you know, I'm learning as I go along, and a fucking lot of trial and error, and here I am a year later, and, you know, we're doing this shit. And I started going back to an open mic called The Painted Lady in Toronto, which is a really wicked venue. And I kind of like was going crazy with brainstorming, and the owner there was really cool, and she listened to me and listened to my ideas. And I'm like, listen, we need to get something going here live before everything shuts down again. So we managed to get full broadcast in the venue, like a 3-camera broadcast, like a multicam broadcast. Did a show for myself and 3 other artists. So we snuck in like 4 shows. We got it done. Like we worked through all the bells and whistles, and now we're ready to go. Like, so when things open up again, we have this structure and this format, so we can go live to air. And I convinced them to kind of like upgrade their internet too. I'm like, if you want to survive out of this outcome,
from what
you
to
need
what?
to be. Well, it was just like basic. I don't know what they had before, but they upgraded to fiber. So which is what you need to broadcast with, right?
Yeah.
So
fiber.
They understood the value of it, and there's only a couple of venues that are already like infrastructurally set like that. And moving forward, I think it's going to be a key attribute to venues. I think you're going to need to have it, and or some sort of online presence. And what you guys are doing is like ahead of the game. You guys are already set, ready to go, and that can eventually become venues. Like these are going to become venues.
It is a venue. The mesh.
Yeah,
The
it is a
studio
venue.
is a venue. Every
Yeah,
single podcast we have a performance, and it
that's
started
amazing.
out as a venue because I was the first to go there, and I was doing a podcast. I was performing, you know.
Yeah,
And I have
yeah,
some great footage of a great performance that was filmed there on the internet because of that guy. It's a
wow.
great place like to record stuff. He just didn't have back then. He just didn't have the audio side. This guy, you know, he's a broker. He's a entrepreneur. He makes things happen. He learns stuff. He makes them
Yeah,
happen. He buys the good gear because he has the money and makes it happen. But
yeah,
he's not a technician. You know, he's not a technician, but he's learning very fast. And the audio is like something that you can bypass really easily. Okay, I can hear it. Fine, volumes are
yeah,
okay, you know. So he never took like the real time to address the fact that we're not hearing enough bass or whatever. And then I came into the picture and I was like, okay, for the performance, it's really important that we have an EQ, a compressor. And he's like, what? He doesn't know
yeah,
these things. So I had to bring
yeah.
it over and make things happen. And now the performances like of now and at the first podcast, like it's like night and day. Just
Yeah, it
because
shows,
someone
and it
knew.
shows.
Oh,
It shows, and it like that's what we need to bring these facets together. The artists who know this stuff, technical people who know this
mhm.
stuff, and the small business people that want to do stuff, you know? So that's the same as the painted lady I was talking about. It's like I brought this to them,
Yeah, you
and the
did
owner
like
came in.
I know how to push it further. I know how to get to the next level. Let me help you. Right.
That's what I said. And they saw me do it. So after them seeing me do it, they're like, oh shit, fuck, that's what it takes to put a type of show like this on air. And it's
Yeah,
not just like throw up your webcam and do this shit. I'm like, there's a lot to this, right?
yeah.
We can really make this the next level.
The
And
more you know, the more you know that you don't know.
fuck yeah. Oh yeah. Like
You like
just
that?
is when you yeah, I love that. That's so true. And that's like I feel like every new avenue I go down to discover some new technology or something or new thing, it's just like fucking Pandora's box with so much more shit. It's
Absolutely.
just like and getting your tracks together, like owning, like getting control of all your profiles like you do for Spotify. Like there's so many, like Napster, Tidal, there's all these ones that you can get a hold of and custom and you
Mhm.
know, that's like
Man,
that's just a whole fucking Pandora's box of so many things. Like it's like now like the idea of being somewhere remote doing something like this and making a living, not a full living but a decent living, is doable. And it's
it
like
is.
you could if you really focus. And I finally, after 20 years, I finally had the time to work on each facet, because it's always like catching up. I'm like, I'm working on touring, and this time I'm working on like doing studio stuff. I'm working on my business part. I'm working on my social media part. And now it's like I finally had a year to like catch up on it all. And
So you feel like you're in the race, like you're where you're running. You feel comfortable because you've catched up. That's why you're saying this, right?
absolutely. And it's only the work I put in over the year. It's like, it's not from just like waiting. It's from a lot of trial and error this year and really, really pushing myself to do shit this year.
Well, that's good. Good to
And
hear.
yeah. Are you going to play something? You want to play something for us?
Actually, the
Are
answer
we
is
getting
not
a
going to
little
please
long?
you.
No
Do I
worries.
have to?
No, you don't have to do whatever you want. I like this conversation. Like we're just having a nice chat, man.
I just feel like I have
It's
so much to give besides just performing with it.
I
You know,
agree.
I have this
I
really
agree.
nice microphone and everything. I have this whole setup for looping for live streaming. This is my setup for live streaming actually, and you know, it's I just decided to go simple, you know, because
I like chatting with you. I just like having these conversations too. This is like,
yeah.
you know,
I was wondering
this is
why do you went towards a YouTube solution for Restream for your show?
because I feel like YouTube is the best platform to put a professional presentation on. I think
Okay.
the 16:9 format and the way it's laid out is the best looking way, because Facebook is only 720 it broadcasts at, which is
Mhm.
still HD and which is nice. And then I'm not familiar with the other platforms yet, but I don't know. I feel comfortable with YouTube, and I find it's a good delivery system. And here's the other thing that I've already seen you've got a hold of it, but when you put your music out to YouTube, there's a topic page. So you can connect that topic page to your YouTube channel. And you just need to get a hold of YouTube, and it's called Artist Support. You just email them and you say, here's my music on my topic channel. Here's my YouTube channel. And I think you need 3 music videos are the requirements. So what they do is they put that together into one channel. And then you get this, I don't know if you look on my Focus YouTube channel, has a little music icon beside it. So that signifies you as a music channel. So when people are searching and they go through YouTube Music, you're in the music category and music algorithms now. So now you're technically a music provider, right?
Okay.
So that's like getting the blue check mark on Instagram. It's like you're a verified
Mhm.
professional at what you do. So
And you have that. You have
so
that check mark
I
on
just
YouTube.
got that. Yeah, and if you have 3 music videos and you have your songs on YouTube already, all you need to do is email artist support at YouTube.
Okay.
And you say to them, I could send you the link too. Just say, hey, my name is, Olipage. I've done this for a while. I can even send you, I have like a template of the email, and it just says,
Email
this is what
artist support. No, I won't
at
forget.
YouTube. And so what they do is they find it and then they put it together. So when you open up your YouTube page, right at the bottom is your player of your brand new album and all your catalog, your music, your singles, and then it has a category of your music videos. So the best thing about YouTube is they pay the most out of all the streaming services. They pay 3 times as much as Spotify does, and you get so many more payments out of YouTube because you get mechanical payments, you get performance payments, composition payments, and you get publishing payments, right? So there's
there are different types of payments you can get.
and there's a
Depends on
content ID that you get as well. Either you can sign up through Audium or Songtrust or entities like that, or you can pay DistroKid to get you a content ID. And so that what that does is like your views, you get the money instead of YouTube, because YouTube has high standards now for getting monetization. And all those views that you're getting on the way to monetization don't go. It just goes to YouTube. So these entities gather up money for you. And there's so many other facets of ways to utilize that. And this is what's coming up new, and you're on the right boat already. And what's happening is like entities like YouTube and Facebook and IG are joining with streaming services. They're each pairing up to present themselves as a full package. So IG just linked up with Spotify. And so when you do your IG videos, you can have like a Spotify playlist right there in your broadcast, right? And then you can include like the people that are in that playlist on your broadcast or whatever. So YouTube already has its own everything. It has its own music and everything. So it's all together as one big product on YouTube. And that's why I like YouTube. But then you're getting into Twitch, and Twitch is like kicking ass, and you're doing a great show on Twitch there.
I don't know how much money you're getting from YouTube with everything that you just said. And I know it's really good. It's maybe something you really know very well.
Well, you have to get like your things, like entities that will collect for you. You know, I signed up for Audium, and Audium used to be what the hell what's the distributor? They used to be this big distributor, and so what they do is they cover just YouTube and they get those royalties for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
so
cool. That's cool. It's
and Rumblefish is a good one too that gets revenue for you. And
okay.
but
And
learning a lot about that, yeah.
you don't have to have like the requirements to have monetization on YouTube for these platforms. Like I know you need 1,000 followers for in your channel and like 4,000 hours of
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
something like that. So I saw YouTube and I was like, it's gonna take 2 years. Like
No, so you sign up
wise,
for
it's gonna take 2 years.
so if you sign up for Audium and something like that, that gets you the revenue through the back door behind YouTube
Really
while
good to
you're
know.
building up towards monetization. Yeah. And
Really good
so
to know. I did not know that.
I've been starting to get paid for that, and it coincides with SOCAN as well. So if you're already set up with SOCAN, you're going to get composition money from it.
Well, that's
And when
really
people
good to
use
know.
the other good thing about that is, like, say you're doing a show like this and I just showed your video, you're going to get money for that because it's on my platform. So other people are using your material to get more views. So you're going to get that through the back door. There's so many entities like that I'm sure musicians aren't familiar with. And Sule knows a lot of stuff like that. He's really well versed in copyright and all that stuff. And now, like, there's so many platforms that your music goes out to. There's just so many ways you can make money off it, and attaching your songs to videos, and just there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, there's
Okay, so Audium, I'll check that out, man. Because
Audium. Yeah,
I didn't believe in the monetization of YouTube, like how they present it when they say you want to become a YouTuber and they show you how to get
it
there.
sucks
And they're like,
now.
you suck.
No,
That's how I felt.
well,
about
is a lot easier before because my first video was like 2006 on YouTube. I started messing around with it, and right off the bat, you were allowed monetization. It was like, would you like commercials on your video? Yes or no. So you can choose it right off the bat, and I did, and I was getting a little bit through Rumblefish, which is through CD Baby, and they get you money for your views. But then what happened is, like, all these people set up all these bots, and what they do is they set up like a channel, and they rip off footage. They'll take like footage of NHL playoffs or something and just put it on their channel, get the views, and then they would click into monetization and get money for that. So what YouTube was doing was cleaning the bottom. There was so much bottom feeding, getting that people that weren't creators, you know what I'm saying, that weren't original content providers. They were just clogging up the bottom. So they just had to make the standard so much higher to get to monetization. But these other entities go behind YouTube and get the money for you. And but number one, always get your stuff signed up with SOCAN. Make sure you're covered with that. That's like the first thing you want to do.
Of course,
get all your shit signed up with
and
SOCAN.
Also in Quebec we have the Soproc. I don't know what it is for the rest of the Canadian territory, but are you familiar with it?
I remember Sule mentioning, that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Like, it's producer rights.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess Sound Exchange does it.
Yeah,
but,
it's pretty much the same. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's there's many ways, and and that's what I was approached by Sony, and they're like, we want to do a 50-50 deal with you. I'm like, okay, so this sounds good.
That's good, right?
Sometimes, but it's like they want you to pay for a lot of shit. They're like, they present you this stuff, and they're like, it's billed to you almost, really. And then when they pay for stuff, they take it out of your half. They're like, whatever your half is, the expenses come out of that, right?
So you saw that in the contract and we're like,
yeah. And I didn't want to give my catalog away. They basically wanted 50% of ownership of my catalog. And then it was tempting, and they were going to put me on like a top tier of like Spotify, but I heard this term a long time ago, and I don't know who said it. Maybe it's like Rolling Stones or something. But it's better to sell like 20 albums if you own 100% than to sell, I don't know what the saying is, like sell a million if you only own 10% or something. I'm finding the benefits now of owning all my stuff, 100% ownership. And now I'm really learning all these entities that I can get money from. And I realize that I've left a lot of money on the table, really. And now I'm going back and retrieving it and doing all that tedious paperwork and all that shit and fucking getting all
But you said that you took the year to do that and taking every step conveniently. Now you're there. Yeah.
I'm ready to hit the road. Ready to tour, man.
Yeah, once
I'll
everything
get
is
ready.
set up, everything goes smoothly.
Yeah.
Money is supposed to be
Yeah.
talked about like once or twice a year. You're not supposed.
Yeah.
When you do your taxes, you discuss your salary. That's it, and
Yeah.
that's what it is. Once this is done, after that you're moving on to the rest, which is quite enjoyable. And
Yeah.
be financially free. Become financially free is it's a great prospect. Why don't we
Yeah, it
reach
is.
for it?
It's doable. It's totally doable. And now, like,
hmm
seeing through this lockdown, how not easy, but it's doable to what you're doing, what you guys are doing, what I'm doing, it's doable to do something and consistently. And
Yeah.
a sponsor is going to come knocking on your guy's door soon. It's going to be,
I'm supposed to sign a contract with the studio very soon in case that happens. Because right now we have no deal of what happens when the money comes. And what's really interesting, Mr. Focus, is that this studio is running like 15 or 20 podcasts. And what they want to do, because they don't think that they should sell a sponsor to one podcast. They want to sell, they want to have a sponsor for all of the podcasts and share the benefits with everyone who's involved. It's a great thing, right? It's awesome.
a fantastic thing. That's amazing.
Yes.
You guys built that from scratch, man.
Yeah, and that's like super cool. Like the entrepreneurs who are running this place, are so good people. They already like reached for everything and they want to give back.
Yeah.
That's how they are. So, I'm really glad I'm working with old people.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I feel like I'm finally working with old people who are rich and make things for me. Like I'm so happy about that.
That's good. The mix is good. You need
And also
youthful ideas and knowledge as well.
Because
right?
when we're all like, I'm 28, if I just hang out with 20 to 35-year-old people, we all have the same issues. Like, where are we going? What are we doing? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Whether these guys are like, we know what you should do, and we know we can help you get there, and let us show you. And they give a little a light on the pathway. And what we do in exchange is propose something different, and they consider it. And that's I find that idea, like, the more I grow up, the more I think like the relationship with all like young and good people in the workplace is so good. It's so productive and it's so creative, and it creates a certain dynamic that's unreproducible with just people of the same age. So I'm really glad I'm living this, and I'm really glad because I feel like I'm in the creative spot. Like I can propose creative things and they just go with it, and it just happens, and it's viable because I'm working with people who know how to make things work financially and productively. So it's just a good spot to be in. Like, I love teams, man. I love working in teams.
Yeah, me too. And I like working with good, like, different age dynamics too. And I know exactly what you're saying. I've done 3 albums with, pretty much kind of the same people, and roughly my age, a little older, a little younger. But now I'm going like way younger, and I'm like, I met this guy in Ohio, and he was trying to sell beats to me online, and we just chat back and forth. And then he had me on a podcast, and we just had a great conversation. And I liked the way he made beats, and he did his work drive is amazing, and he just like has a show where him and his buddy make beats live, and then they do like a freestyle. And I'm like, I remember doing that when I was 20 years old. Like this album right here, you see, is 20 years old. And me and my buddy, we would just sit and make beats all fucking night. Like you would come out with maybe like a 6 or a dozen or whatever, and some of them might not make the cut, but you just sat and you just poured out shit. Like you just pump shit out. But that it was really reinvigorating to talk to him about his process. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's reminding myself when I was 20 years ago doing it like that. So I sometimes I feel like, because I'm involved with so much stuff, like I said, I wear too many hats, and I'm like, I really want to be involved in the whole instrumental process, and I usually produce and make all of my own instruments or instrumentals. I asked him, I'm like, do you mind just like throwing me a few beats, and I'm just gonna not worry about making beats for a while, and I just want to like really focus on the rapping and getting those fresh ideas. So he's been like bombarding, not, but like just every other day, like there's a new beat since like December.
Really?
So yeah,
that's
and
cool.
I got like 60 beats in my archive, and it's really helped my writing, and it's really helped me catch the lightning in
There
a
you
bottle.
go. Don't you feel productive
And
right now?
oh, so productive. It's like, this is just full of so many. So I'm ready to go, and I'm very excited about working with a younger guy, because I want that mesh to like
Mhm.
to have that creativity, and then as well as like you mix it with trial and error. It's
Exactly.
so
It's gonna
yeah.
it's gonna affect you in a very uncomfortable way. Like it's it's gonna take you
Yeah.
somewhere else. It's gonna try and take you somewhere else, and you're probably gonna be the one who's gonna try and resize his ideas
Yeah.
and place them in a proper way that are doable and more maybe like quality oriented,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just
Yeah.
craziness, because quality is
I hear
important.
you. It is.
Mhm.
Very
Yeah,
good.
hey,
This is quality. This has been quality.
it has been. I don't know how you want to end this, but I might have to run very soon, so I don't know.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. I was looking at 11, but this is great. This is so good. I've had a great time with you. This is very
Same.
insightful. And yeah, I'm going to be doing this every Friday night, and going to be doing a live Twitch show every Sunday at
You are going to be
12.
on Twitch?
Yeah, it's called same thing, AM Grinding. I'm on Twitch, and this Sunday at noon, I'll be on and do some freestyling, and I'm gonna try and link up with my buddy in Germany. So that's the
Cool.
reason I'm doing noon, so I can get his 6 o'clock time over there.
Okay.
And
you've just addressed an important subject for me. Okay.
yes,
I've been doing some Twitch since November.
yeah,
And it just started picking up. Like it doesn't take too many followers on Twitch to make it profitable,
yeah.
And I've reached a certain level, like it's starting to grow, and it's starting to make sense in a financial way. And
Yeah.
and it turns out that most people who watch me are from Germany. So
Germany's a big audience.
I guess, and
Yeah.
it's lots of people from Germany, and lots of people that don't understand that much English.
Yeah.
And when they figure out that there are like 3 people from Germany in the chat, they just start talking German in the chat.
That's awesome. And that
That's
gets your
awesome.
channel requirements boosted, right? Like the more interaction on that chat thing, the more like you get engaged into the algorithm and stuff like that. That's Twitch is
I guess.
Twitch is awesome. Yeah. It's
I didn't check it, but so far so good. Man, I started to get raids a lot, and
oh, those are big. Yeah.
yeah, and I get like 20, 30 people every time, and like from these 30, 20 people, I get a few followers. And then today I got a small raid, and I was like super honored by that, because the small raiders, like they're the why would a small raider raid me? Doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Well,
Raid someone who's
because you
big.
do because you're doing a quality product. It's there, and they're just
And that's the
enjoying what you're.
compliment. So that's
Yeah,
where I'm at. It's like I feel really good about it. It's like
yeah. You
you
should.
rated me with 5 people. Thank you. That's very nice. Do you want a song? it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
great. I feel great when that happens. I feel like I'm gonna enjoy the small raids even more than the bigger raids. Where the bigger raids, like, it's, I feel like people like me, and it's people that like me that just raid me or are looking in something in exchange. But the small raids, like, they have nothing to lose. They have nothing to gain.
No.
It's just very honest. So I like that. I like those. I've had one today, and I was like very, very happy. Felt good. It was a
Those
good
are
pat on the back.
fun. I feel like I'm gonna have a good time with it, and it's just more kind
Yeah.
of a loose. Are you familiar with Amazon with it? With your
Not
music
at
on
all.
Amazon?
Not
So
at
your
all.
music is on Amazon. Did you use DistroKid? What do you use to distribute?
Yeah, I know my music's on Amazon, but I know I
So
have no streams there. I
you
have
can
0
retrieve
streams.
it. You can find there's like just look up artists for Amazon, so you can retrieve
Yeah.
your page and you retrieve your artist profile.
Yeah, I
And
did
what you
that.
can do is okay, good. So you can link within your Twitch page. You can link that Amazon link to your Twitch page. So when people watch your Twitch feed, up comes your player from Amazon, and it's right down there in your feed or part of your channel. And you're like, hey, people watching, if you want my music, it's right here. You can buy it off Amazon. And then Amazon gets you kind of incorporated once you become affiliated with them, and then you can start giving like Amazon discounts away. Like if you buy my album, you get 10% off of shipping or whatever. So there's
That's pretty dope.
incentives and that's what's happening with a lot of streaming platforms. They're merging with these
But yeah, but
video
it's good to
streaming
know
ones, right?
that it's good to know that they're collaborating with other streaming platforms than just Spotify. Because I feel right
Yeah.
now, if you have a Google Home and you ask the Google Home to play a certain song, the Google Home will use the Spotify. And if you ask the same thing to Siri and the same thing to Alexa, and all these, there are so many things that are already linked with Spotify that if you want to change and use Tidal, for example, you can't because it doesn't have it. It's so much easier with Spotify. So it's good to know that there are certain ways like this to use another streaming platform that just gives a little more money, and also like it diversifies the streamings. You
A
don't
lot
want
more money.
one place. We don't want
Like
that. We
3
don't want
times.
one
Yeah.
place.
I know that Spotify pays like 30% to the penny or something. It's like whatever. And then like
It's 40% to the penny. Yeah.
yeah, and then Apple pays like 60%, and like YouTube's more. Napster is the highest actually. Napster and I believe Tidal are up there, and Google Play are the most.
Google
so it's
Play's
like
gone,
when
man.
people
It's dead.
it merges it into it takes you through Google Play and it puts you into YouTube Play. So YouTube,
Yeah. True.
there's like a YouTube music player. But when those ads play, you get money for when the ads go through and stuff like that. But yeah, there's so many other entities and like they're quality professional platforms that are merging with these things. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too, man. But it's cool to have diversity.
Yeah,
That's what we want.
absolutely. I
We don't
agree.
want one. It's not monopoly.
No. Well, that's why I like doing showcases where it incorporates so many different musical acts where it's just not one theme. We're learning from each other. We're just enjoying each other's
Yeah.
styles
And
and
then
creativity.
we're all gonna stop making music and just become podcast hosts. That's what we're gonna do. That's the future focused. That's the future.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Rogan.
All right, Mr. Rogan. We're gonna stop hitting the punching bag. We're gonna start selling pills and talk on the internet with Steven Tyler.
Dick pills and
Elon Musk.
fucking shit.
Yeah.
Fucking smoking weed with Elon Musk.
Yeah. Have you ever tried elk? Elk is good, man.
It's good, man. I got some in the freezer right here.
Really? Have you ever tried DMD?
Yeah. It's right here. Yeah, I got some.
Right there too. Okay, you're selling it too. All right. Anyway,
Anyways, thank you so much, Ollie.
thank you,
appreciate
Focus.
it,
You're
man.
the one hosting, man. You're running a great thing here. So thank you so much for
So are
inviting
you.
me. Okay.
Thank you for being here, and check out Olipage on all his platforms. And what's your website again?
My website.
Oh,
I'm not that fancy.
I didn't put you on the spot there. Sorry. So where should we go to check your stuff?
Well, anyway, and I do most of my performances live on Mondays and Tuesdays on Twitch, and the Twitch name is Olipage Live. And also, I'm very, very present on Instagram with this same name, Olipage Live. I love that. I love Instagram. Like, I don't care what people say. I love Instagram. And finally, the last thing where I'm at is, well, that's pretty much it. Actually, if you find me there, you can find me elsewhere. And my artist name is
Awesome.
Olipage. So if you want to check out my music on Spotify and whatever platform you're using, it's crazy. How people say other platforms, but we always say Spotify. You know,
We should
like,
plug the other ones more, like Tidal and
Mhm.
and
I'm actually
Tidal's
paying
good. And
monthly for Tidal. Yeah.
Tidal's good, and actually you can get high fidelity tracks out of Tidal. You get higher
I've tried
quality
those. It's
audio.
weird.
You get way better quality. It's what you pay for. It's quality over,
Yeah,
if
and
you
it's
want to
the
pay
same
for it, it's
price.
good stuff.
It's the same price
Yeah.
as Spotify, and I get this same hi-fi quality. I get more quality, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that app so
So
far.
big
I love it.
up to Jay-Z and Tidal.
Turns
Yeah.
out, like, Kanye West talked down about Tidal because he says that he says that Tidal owes him $3 million.
Oh, he sounds like he's in like personal
But
thing with them.
But yeah, could be anything, you
I
know.
don't know.
Whatever.
Anywho.
Anyway, you can find me in the club, Battlefield Above, or you can find me on anywhere, like
About to
Instagram.
blow my mind.
It was just so natural.
50. All right, 50.
I'm finishing up with some good rap, man. All right.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure.
I just
And,
stand there and you take me off, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to Still, and thanks for coming out. See you, sir.
Thank you, Focused. Stay focused.
Ciao. All right, that was Olipage, and you can catch him on all his handles, Instagram, YouTube, and all these great. Oh, he mooned me. I think I saw that. Ollie. I saw. Anyways, a great thanks to Olipage and a great thanks to Sule, two fine gentlemen. You can check them out on all their platforms, and please stream their stuff not only on Spotify but all the other platforms, and just fucking buy their albums. Maybe just buy the album, pretty much. And so that's it for me. I'm going to sleep. And you can check me Sunday at noon. I'm going to be broadcasting on Facebook again here, and Twitch. And we're going to try Twitter, maybe get on Twitter. So thank you. Have a great night and stay focused.